Hello, my beautiful fragrance family. Dustin here, fragrance fan. Go ahead and do me a solid and click that like, comment, and subscribe. And don't forget to hit that bell notification. And I'm just going to keep on bringing you guys these budget-friendly fragrance reviews. That 40-ish and under dollar range. And most of these are way less than that. And a good number of these you can find at your local rack stores. And that's exactly what I got for you guys here today. 5 of my favorite fragrances this year that I picked up at my local rack stores. Some of them might surprise you, others will not. So let's go ahead and talk about my 5 favorite purchases this year at my rack stores. So let's go ahead and talk about one that's not going to be a surprise to any of you guys, and that is Lattafa's Khamrah Qahwa. And the reason why I chose this one over the original, which is phenomenal, is because this one is a bit more masculine. So it's the one that I would recommend to just your average Joe. If they're at the store and they're trying to figure out what to buy, and this would be the one that I would point to. I'd point to the other one if it was the only one there, but if both of them were there, this would be my recommendation. So basically, this one has a sweet, rich praline, creamy, rich praline cinnamon combination. The vanilla and the coffee start to come out more and more as this thing begins to take on its dry down. The coffee starts to become a little bit more pronounced. There's some heliotrope and some cardamom in here. It's creamy, it's rich, it's sweet, it's like a sexy date night kind of a thing. And you do get a little bit of that booziness. There is a slight touch of that apple pie thing, but not nearly as much as Killian's Angel Share, but it does have a similar body to that. But that coffee note just makes this thing a little bit more masculine, and it's one that and it lasts a long time too. It doesn't last quite as long as the original, but it does last a good amount of time. 7+ hours on me, which is great. Up next, one that really surprised me, and that's Royalty by Maluma's Onyx. And this one, it's got this sweet green pear going on in the opening. There's some spicy cinnamon, some warm cardamom, a little bit of that subtle sweet fruity plum. The iris gives this thing a little bit, just a little bit of a distinguished kind of a vibe. It's a 1 million Privé basically replica without the performance. That's the one downside about this thing. The upside is you can't find Privé. It's discontinued. If you do find it, it's going to be crazy expensive, and it's one of, if not, it is the best 1 million fragrance. And this one, if you haven't smelled Privé, this is like what it smells like basically. It's just not nearly as loud. So that's the thing. So basically, in a nutshell, it's another sweet, smooth cinnamon vanilla type of a fragrance, but with some other stuff, some like subtle green pear, like I said, a little bit of that waxy iris, some warm cardamom, and that makes this an office friendly version of what could be a club fragrance if it was louder and longer lasting. Up next, one that might scare some people off just because of the name, but do not let the name fool you, because it is anything but an oud fragrance, and that is Eternal Oud from Lattafa. So this one is another sweet, rich, smooth vanilla on top of some subtle, juicy plum. It's powdery, it's creamy, it's got this kind of a warmth and an inviting feel to it. I just want to get this thing in the air real quick. Smooth, creamy vanilla, some powdery spiciness. Makes this is a date night fragrance. There's oud listed in here, but that is like the last thing on the list. It's like one of the notes, so they could put it in the name on this, but it's not like one of those electrical fire, burning rubber, or animalic ouds. It's just barely there, just enough to keep it from being a vanilla, creamy, powdery fragrance only. There's a bit of spices and a hint of woods, but mostly creamy, sweet, almost sticky, almost a sticky kind of a vanilla, but a creamy, sticky vanilla with some of that spice going on. and a hint of oud, giving it just an added bit of character. Up next, one that surprised me with how much I ended up actually liking it, and that is Bentley for Men, the original. And the reason why I chose this one is because it would be the one that I would recommend if there was somebody that was looking at this or the Intense. The reason being is because it's a little bit more user-friendly and more wearable, still giving you all that same quality that you like in the Intense version, just a little bit easier to wear. So it is another warm, spicy cinnamon. There's strong dose of that rum in this thing, that boozy accord. There's leather, there's some woods. This fragrance is masculine as can be. One of the main differences between this one and the Intense is, although Intense has extra florals listed, this one has more of a floral touch. And that's just to me. I don't know if it's the bay leaf. There's bay leaf listed in this that's not in the original. And I think the original there's like another floral that's not in this that's in that. They're almost identical as far as the note breakdown. It's like I said, the Intense has an extra floral note. The original has a bay leaf note. Other than that, it's pretty much the same. Spicy, cinnamon, boozy, leather, woody. Masculine, no sweetness. It's got cinnamon, but there's no kind of playful sweetness going on whatsoever. This is a masculine, confident, business, bold, long-lasting fragrance. The Intense is slightly longer lasting, I found out doing side-by-side comparisons, but this one is no slouch, giving you 7+ hours. Now for the one that might surprise you guys a little bit. I just find myself wearing it all the time. It works on so many different levels, especially where I am here in Florida. And it's not a new release whatsoever, and that is Diesel's Only the Brave. And what's going on with this one is it's a sweet, powdery, clean, fresh citrus, violet, almost kind of got that cucumber violet thing going on. Touches of leather. There's touches of leather in here. Yeah, it just works. It's got a similar feel to like Gucci Guilty. It's like a little bit more of a playful version of Gucci Guilty, whereas it's got citrus, the powderiness, the violet, little bits of that leather, like I said, but more than anything else, sweet powdery violet and bright citrus, some refreshing bright citrus up top. It's just so versatile. The performance isn't bad on it either. It's like 6 hours, and the scent bubble is pretty good. Like, I stay reminded that I'm wearing that thing for like 3 or 4 hours after I'm done applying it, which is surprising. So that's one of the reasons why I reach for this thing. I mean, the juice level, I got this not that long ago. I just reach for it, and I reach for it. And it's one of those fragrances where I gotta be like, no, chill out on that one. Let's go for something else. It's just a dumb reach fragrance that works so well, so that's why it made this list. Every one of these fragrances, with the exception of this one, are above average in performance, but this one just smells so darn good. It had to make this list because I kind of can't get enough of that scent profile. So if you see any of these in the wild, they are safe to blind buy, except for this one. But if you like bold fragrances, if you like masculinity, then this is definitely a safe blind buy. If you don't like a manly fragrance, which some people don't, I personally know some people that don't like manly, this isn't going to be for you. The rest of these most certainly are safe blind buys. So that's 5 of the fragrances that I've recently picked up this year at rack stores that I am enjoying the most. I didn't get into too much depth on how they smell. I got full reviews on these things, but yeah, if you see them in the wild, just do yourself a favor, roll the dice on them and pick them up, and more than likely, you're going to enjoy them. So with that, I'm out. Y'all be blessed. Oh, and by the way, at 8,000 subs, thank you guys to every single one of you guys that watch me, support me, comment, even if they're negative comments, because it helps with the algorithm, So thank you guys so much. Never thought I'd make it this far. When I first started this thing, I was like, hey, if I get like 37 subs, that'd be pretty cool if I got like 37 people following me. 8,000? Never saw that coming. 10,000, 9,000 is the next milestone, but really 10,000? I'm shooting for it. Never thought I'd see that coming. So thank you guys. And with that, I'm out. Y'all be blessed. Take care of yourself always. And until next time.